Hey, it's Soleil, and this is episode 140 of the Orange Pill Investor. And today I want to do a little bit of a correction on my minor rankings. There's one aspect that I forgot to include, and that is not necessarily related to the minors themselves, but it it will affect which stock you choose, and that is commissions. So back when I first started trading, I mean, collecting $20 in premium, it makes a big damn bit of difference. Back then, what was it? E-Trade or some damn body was like $8.95 a trade or some shit. You can't pay $8.95 on a $20 commission. So Robinhood was fucking legendary back then because they came out with the no-fee trading and whatnot. And so I have a little bit of loyalty towards Robinhood because of that. Like, they really helped me out when I had a small account, when every penny counted. And I'm loyal until until that loyalty has been, broken. And I still am bitter about when Robinhood halted trading on GameStop. To me, that's unforgivable. The claim may even be true, but they try to blame it on the market, and they said it was it wasn't the decision of the exchanges or whatever. But I think that's bullshit. It was a coordinated attack, and everybody knows it. So while Robinhood really helps me out, I basically moved all of my trading over to Tasty Trade. I learned a ton of information from their research and their videos back in the day. Just hundreds and hundreds. I think I had 100 and something videos bookmarked at one point, and I went back recently to try to find one. There was one on the Kelly criterion that I really wanted to see, and a lot of that stuff was deleted. So I don't know if they moved things over to a new place or if they just got rid of all the old research. But for whatever reason, I'm kind of mad that I didn't download, figure out a way to download those bad boys. I lost a huge library of information. But I moved over to Tasty Trade, but they do have fees. So it totally slipped my mind, and I know that's like classic humble brag right there, because like I don't even think about the fees, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm just balling over here. And like they say, if you have to ask how much it costs, you can't afford it. So I know that's just me flexing, because I don't even care. I don't have to trade on Robinhood no more because I can afford the trading fees. But it really is a factor. And so this is my 5K account over here, and I thought this would be a good place to trade a 5K account, because you really do want to skimp as best as possible on the fees. So but here's how it affects the stock that you're going to choose to trade. If you've got two stocks and one is trading at $10 a share and the other one's trading at $20 a share, and MicroStrategy is trading at $1,600 a share, if the premium and everything else is identical, which stock should you choose? All other things being equal. Should you choose the expensive stock or the cheap stock? Well, if it's on Robinhood, it probably doesn't matter. Trade what you want. So I loaded up a $20 put to sell. The mid price is 47, and if I load this up and I choose 47 here, the minimum credit is going to be $46.97. So they're going to charge me literally 3 cents out of $47 for this. And I don't even think, I have to check, but I don't even think Robinhood collects this money. I think that's like the market makers or something collect this little bit. And let's load up the same thing on Tasty Trade. So in this case, it's a full dollar less. It's $45.86, so maybe like $1.10 less. And the reason is because there's $1 commission for every contract, first of all. And then there's this fee here. And I don't know if this is if this is the market makers over here. But so in this case, if you're going to pay $1 per contract, you want the most expensive stock possible. Because if I go over here to HUT and I load up a short put, and let's go, yep, right below the money. Buy. There we go. Review and send. So in this case, I'm still paying $1, even though I'm only putting up half the collateral, and I'm only collecting $10. They're still taking $1, so they're going to take $1 out of my 10. So I'm paying them 10% of my profits here. Now I think they do close the trade for free, so that's good. I mean, other than what you have to pay to close it. But if you're trading on tastytrade and you're paying a commission per contract, you absolutely want the most expensive one. So I think I had HUT ranked first and Mara second. But if you're trading here, you want to go Mara first, then HUT. And actually, even though I kind of disavowed CLSK because I don't like trading in nickels, if I'm just trading like one contract and for CLSK to take $1 out of me every time versus HUT to take $1 out of me every time, I might even have to go for CLSK at that point. Because if the bid is 10 and the ask is 20, you might be able to come in at 15 and actually get that to fill. So that's a finer point. I mean, that's really just pinching pennies here. But I'm kind of an efficiency junkie. Like when I played video games, when I played Final Fantasy VII, I would spend hours just configuring the swords, like with magic and was it materia or whatever the hell it was. And like, oh, I can put this on it, and I can put that on it, and I can put this on it, and oh, let me swap out, I got that sword. Oh, okay, let me swap out this character's weapons and all that shit. And so I would spend just as much time trying to optimize my character as I would actually playing the damn game and fighting monsters and leveling up or whatever. And so I don't know if that's rubbing off on me with my trading, but especially if you have a small account and you're like if you're making $100 in premium, you can't be giving $10 of it away to the exchange. So if you're under like a 5K account, or hell, I think maybe even under a $30,000 or $50,000 account, I don't know if I could justify trading and paying these commissions. I think I would just have to go with Robinhood. And Robinhood's user interface, it's just easy to trade here. So I know Robinhood is kind of where all the rookies start out, and it's almost like people that trade on Fidelity and TD Ameritrade and Tasty Trade and all of that stuff, maybe they look down on the Robinhood traders. But there's nothing wrong with trading here and just optimizing your money. And I mean, you can always open a Tasty Trade account and put a couple bucks into it if you want, or just whatever, and use their tools. I like having my little list over here. I got the earnings column. I got like a liquidity gauge and, implied volatility rankings, volumes, whatever you want to customize it with. So the tools on tastytrade, I learned so much from them. I kind of feel like I owe them a tip. So I don't mind paying this. And especially, like, again, if you're trading something like MicroStrategy, and you sell a frickin' put and you get paid $3,000, like, okay, actually, why are they not charging me a commission? Estimated fee 0. Why would that even be? That doesn't make sense. Okay. But the point is, if they charge me $1 off of, I'm getting paid 3,000, like, who gives a shit? That's, not a big deal. But even like Tesla, let me see if Tesla, trying to make a point here, cooperate. Okay, here, you're going to charge me $1. I'm going to collect $100. Paying $1, paying 1% on a fee is way better than on HUT collecting $10 and paying 10% of your profits. Now, the one thing that is kind of cool for Tasty Trade, so we already looked at this, and if I'm going to pay $1, right? But if I do 20 of these, I think if you do lots, you do 20, yeah. If you do 20, they'll give you half off on the commissions. So instead of paying $20 for this, I'm only gonna pay 10. So they throw you a little bone on Tasty Trade if you're doing volume, if you're doing tons and tons of contracts, which I had that in the back of my mind, and I don't remember if I said it out loud, but that's why I sold 20 puts of Mara. I wanted to show the wheel strategy, and that's another thing, is I met with one of the winners of my 1K followers celebration. That was awesome. We sat and talked options for an hour, and that was a lot of fun. He actually was very switched on, and very smart guy. He basically kind of had it all figured out already, and it was just kind of like mostly just double checking and like asking me what I would do in different situations. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed meeting him, and one of the things that I talked about was generally I try to collect 1% premium when I sell covered calls. However, when I'm running the wheel, I just went ahead and sold this Mara put at 20.5. I think Mara was at 21 when I sold this. So I just sell at the money, and I collected $93, which was like 4.5%, almost 5% ROI for the week. And the reason I do that is because I just don't care if I get assigned. Like, I almost kind of want to get assigned. And even if I do, like, it's looking, this one flipped to in the money today because Mara's down. All the mining stocks, I think, were down today. Maybe Bitcoin retraced it's a little. But, yeah, I'm totally fine with getting assigned. So I just I basically knocked my cost basis. If I do get assigned at like 20, I knocked my cost basis down to almost 19. So the price would actually have to fall below 19.5 for me to technically lose money on this trade. And one thing that I will just go ahead and get out of the way, since I have probably a little bit of time. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save that. So I wanted to talk about why I think that limit orders are kind of just dumb. They don't really make sense. But I think I've already been talking long enough. This is all I wanted to cover today. So maybe I'll save that for a future video. But the TLDR version is selling puts and selling covered calls is better than selling limit orders. And I'll go into more detail later. But yeah, so that's one thing that I wanted to clarify. If you're on an exchange that's kind of gouging you with fees or whatever, trade it. All things being equal, I will trade the more expensive stock. So I'm trading HUT, RIOT, and Mara on this account. But a lot of this is just for show. Like, I'm just doing this for the videos. I probably would just do Mara on Tasty Trade because I'm paying $1 per contract. So I'd rather pay that making $50 in premium and paying $1, or making $100 in premium and paying $1, instead of this HUT nonsense where I collect $10 and pay $1. So, however, I've said this before too, the whole point of getting this account up to a certain level is to try to reach critical mass. And so if you are finally getting to the point where you're collecting $1,000 in premium a week, well, that means that you can buy 100 shares of HUT and sell an additional covered call. Well, that is preferable to not buying 100 shares of MARA because you only have $1,000. In that scenario, I would probably either just buy the 50 shares of MARA, I suppose, or buy the 100 shares of HUT and sell an additional covered call, because that's what kind of turns your profits from, just 1% a week to, which is 52% a year, to 67% a week, because now it's exponential growth. You're getting compound interest once you can buy 100 shares every week, because then next week, you're buying, you have 100 shares every week, and you're just adding covered calls, an extra covered call every week instead of just adding shares per week. So in that sense, if you're trying to reach critical mass, maybe I would flip that decision back again and say, you know what, I'm going to get to critical mass faster with this cheap stock than I will be MARA. So it all depends. Are you trading on Robinhood? Here you can do whatever the hell you want. You're not really paying much at all to place the trades. And if you're trading an account where, the dollars matter, then maybe you lean towards MARA instead of HUT. All right. I think that that does it. I'll leave it there for now, and be good, y'all.